It's time for Plainfield Quakers basketball on AudioSportsOnline.com. Tonight's game is brought to you by Wings Etc., Prestwick Pet Sitters, State Farm Agent Jeremiah P. Whip, Raymond's Alignment Service, and J.P. Brenz and Caliber Home Loans. Red Pride Basketball is an AudioSportsOnline.com production. Now let's go courtside for tonight's game. The 2014-2015 IHSAA sectional pairings for boys basketball will be announced next weekend. And for the Plainfield Quakers, they still have a few more games to wrap up this season and hopefully get themselves on a nice run as they get ready for the tournament. And tonight, they'll have a Hendricks County battle here at the Red Pride Gymnasium as the Quakers welcome the Cascade Cadets. And you can watch it all right here on Audio Sports Online. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Plainfield Basketball on ASO. My name is Brian Scott, and I'll be joined in just a moment by my broadcast partner, Christopher Worley. Plainfield with a record of 5-12 on the season. The Quakers had a couple of games over the weekend. A nice win here on this very same floor on Friday night as the Quakers had a big game against Greenwood, defeating the Greenwood Woodmen by the score of 67-48. It was a game that the Quakers at one point in the second quarter were down by 5, but they went on a nice run to close out the half. And in the end, the Woodmen were never able to rally, and the Quakers came away with a victory. Head coach Andy Weaver, well, he thought the Quakers were going to make it 2 in a row on Saturday when they had to travel down to Shelbyville and play a very tough Golden Bears squad. It was a game that Plainfield led most of the way in that contest. But with about 6 minutes left to go in the basketball game, the Golden Bears went on an 11-4 run. That ended up tying the game, sending it into overtime. And then that's when the Golden Bears, they were able to make some free throws, and they came away with the 2-point win in a nice rally to defeat the Quakers 69-67. Plainfield has 5 more games left on their schedule. First here tonight against Cascade. They will have another home game next Tuesday night against the Brownsburg Bulldogs before 2 games on the road and finishing up the schedule here at the Red Pride Gymnasium against Greenfield Central. I bring in my broadcast partner, Christopher Worley. And Chris, it was a game against Shelbyville. Quakers were able to keep from turning over the basketball. Max Skorkowski scored 23 points. Nathan Nils had 21. But in the end, that run at the end got them in free throws. The Golden Bears made it count in the overtime.
Yeah, it would have been a nice road win for the boys. They do have a couple this year over Avon, and they won at Monrovia earlier, so that Shelbyville win would have been very nice. But they're competitive, played a tough game, got to feel good here. You know, they won that last home game. So this is a game against Cascade tonight, a 2A program that the boys should win. Plainfield should get this done. So as we head into, it's almost sectional time now, this is an important game for them to take care of business here and get this job done on this Thursday night.
They will welcome the Cascade Cadets here to the Red Pride Gymnasium. Cascade with a record of 7-12. They have lost 7 of their last 9, though they are coming off a win against Eminence last Saturday by the score 68-50. They're led by Skylar Hart. He's a senior. He is their leading scorer at around 14 points per game. And Coach Chris Dubois, it's really been where are they going to get some scoring? And that's kind of what the Quakers saw against Greenwood last Friday night. Greenwood, not a very good shooting team. The Cadets come in averaging only a little over 45 points per game. They give up almost 56 points per game. And out of the last few games, Plainfield's been able to consistently put up 50 to 60 points a contest. The Quakers come in tonight averaging 53 points per game. It's been the defense, though, and you almost have to take a look at that big game against Terre Haute South where they give up 102 points. That's going to move your scoring average against up a bit, and the Quakers come into tonight's contest giving up almost 63 points per game. But as Chris and I have mentioned all throughout this season, if the Red Pride can keep the turnovers down, they generally come out on the winning side of the ledger, and they definitely did that Saturday night against Shelbyville. They only had 9 turnovers in that contest, but the Golden Bears with a rally in the fourth quarter and then sinking free throws in the overtime. When we come back, we'll have the starting lineups and the opening tip-off between the Quakers and the Cadets. This is Red Pride Basketball on ASO. Prestwick Pet Sitters and owner Don Crawford is a proud sponsor of the Plainfield Quakers basketball team. Prestwick Pet Sitters has been in business for over 20 years, servicing Plainfield, Avon, and Danville, specializing in home pet care for all types of pets, from Angora rabbits to zebrafish and all the cats and dogs in between. Visit PrestwickPetSitters.com or call 745-9900 to learn more or schedule an appointment before your next trip. That's PrestwickPetSitters.com. We all have a guy, but who's your guy? Jeremiah P. Whip State Farm Agency in Plainfield next to Popeye's Chicken is a proud supporter of Plainfield basketball. Jeremiah specializes in life insurance and retirement maximization. Call 839-3322 or go to who'syourguy.net to contact Jeremiah today. That's Jeremiah P. Whip State Farm Agency in Plainfield. Welcome back to the Red Pride Gymnasium. Alongside Christopher Worley, I'm Brian Scott as we get ready for tonight's contest between the Plainfield Quakers and the Cascade Cadets. Let's go ahead and give you some of the particulars for tonight's game as we get ready to tip this one off. Cascade, again, they come in with a record of 7-12. Their head coach is Chris DuBois. He is 93 and 144 in his 11th year at the helm of the Cadets. And this is a team, as I mentioned, they have lost 7 of their last 9. Their starting lineup will have pretty much more of a 3-guard look. Starting at a guard is a 5'7" junior, Brock Stevenson. At the other guard is a 6-foot junior, Austin Gates. At guard, a 6-foot sophomore, Evan Birch. The leading scorer is a 6'2" senior at forward, Skylar Hart. And the other forward is a 6'2" junior, Zach Butler. So once again, for Coach DuBois and the Cadets, it'll be Stevenson, Gates, and Birch in the backcourt, Hart and Butler in the front court. That's the starting 5 for the Cascade Cadets. For the Plainfield Quakers, they have a record of 5-12. The head coach is Andy Weaver. A record of 15 and 44 in his 3rd year at the helm of the Quakers, and 241 and 220 in his 21st season overall in coaching high school basketball. For the Plainfield Quakers, this has been, for some time now, it's been pretty steady starting lineup. Starting at a guard is a 5'11" junior, Mark Dahm II. At the other guard is a 6'1" junior, Bryson Ellis. At forward is a 6'6" junior, Max Kurkowski. The other forward is a 6'5" sophomore, Nathan Mills. And at center, a 6'5" sophomore, Connor Brenz. So once again, the backcourt is Dahm and Ellis. The front court is Kurkowski, Mills, and Brenz. And those are the starting 5 for your Plainfield Quakers. And Chris, this is something that Coach Weaver, he was really mixing up lineups for the first half or so of the season, but now the last 5-6 games, he's really settled in on having Dahm at the 1 and putting Ellis at the 2 to start the basketball games.
Yeah, we saw here in the last home game, Bryson Ellis put up a few points, but he made a valuable contribution on defense, kind of sparked the team as far as playing hard-nosed defense. So we'll see if Bryson can continue that here. And, of course, Mark Dahm, an excellent defender.
Yeah, Mark Dahm has really been tasked to locking down some of the opponents' better shooters. He did a pretty good job against Spencer Isenthal against Greenwood, and he's going to be expected to probably do that tonight, also helping against Skylar Hart. Here's our national anthem.
You see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran glare, the guns bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
That's our national anthem here at the Red Pride Gymnasium. Alongside Christopher Worley, I'm Brian Scott. We're ready for basketball. The Quakers and the Cascade Cadets. Of course, a rather rare Thursday boys varsity basketball game. It is sectional time on the girls' side, and Plainfield just happens to be hosting a sectional. Chris will be telling you probably a little bit more about that at halftime. And if your Quaker fans are wondering, and probably not even wondering, you already knew, yes, the Quakers are in the sectional semifinals. That's taking place this Friday. Chris will have a rundown of all the sectional action, I believe, here coming up at halftime. So a Thursday night game here between the Quakers and the Cadets, and then they will also have a rather rare Tuesday night game next week when the Brownsburg Bulldogs come to the Red Pride Gymnasium. We will not have that game for you on Audio Sports Online, but you can still listen to it. Join Chris and I. You can listen through xrbradio.com. You can hear all the action. Tuesday night, Chris and I will have the call as the Bulldogs and the Quakers will be right here at the Red Pride Gymnasium. It will be an audio-only game, but you can listen to all the action between the Bulldogs and the Quakers next Tuesday night. Quakers hoping for a little bit of redemption from that loss to Brownsburg back in the Hendricks County tournament opener. But they got some work to do tonight as they take on the Cascade Cadets. Chris, we've watched this team the last few games. The front line has been impressive the past, I'd say, month or so. They've gotten a lot of contributions, especially from Max Kurkowski of late. I believe he's scored over 20 points the last 4 games. He and Nathan Mills, they've been pretty much the primary scorers for this team. But that front line of Kurkowski, Mills, and Brenz, that has been one of the strong suits for Coach Andy Weaver this season.
Yeah, it sure has, and it works well when Nathan's operating down low on the post and Max is hitting these outside shots. After Max has been scoring a little bit more in these last 2 games, he's got his average up to almost 12.5 points per game. He is also the leading rebounder at 6.1 rebounds per game, and he is their new number 1 three-point player, three-point field goal maker with 16. Reese Crawford was for a while, but now here in the last 2 games, Max has taken over that lead with 16 made three-pointers. He should have another good game tonight here against Cascade.
It will be Skylar Hart jumping center with Nathan Mills. The ball is controlled by the Quakers, and they'll begin the basketball game with the opening possession. As it's been all season long, the Quakers, they've tried to limit turnovers to begin the contest. They have, for the last few weeks, been giving up empty possessions on their first 2 or 3 trips down the court. Here's Max Kurkowski, drives baseline, lays it up off the glass, and a nice start for the Quakers.
Yeah, you know, I checked that turnovers before the game here, Brian, and right now Plainfield averaging 15 turnovers a game, so still need to work on cutting that down here as we go to sectional time.
Quakers will start this basketball game in a man-to-man as Skylar Hart gets the basketball at the top of the key. He is guarded by Mark Daum. Gets a screen, now tries to move left side. Cut off, goes in the lane, lays it up off the glass, and a nice move by the captain and senior, Skylar Hart.
Very nice play. We saw him play against Brownsburg, and he is an effective player. He's definitely the team leader out there. Number 20, Skylar Hart.
Cadets will show a 1-2-2 press, but the Quakers beat it. Bryson Ellis tried to feed Nathan Mills underneath, and then they'll say it went off of Mills, and the turnover will give the ball back to the Cadets. We're tied at 2. 59 seconds into this opening quarter. The Cadets in the black uniforms with the powder blue numerals. The Quakers home whites with the red numerals. With the basketball, that is Zach Butler. Gives it up top. They swing it around to the left side. With the basketball, Brock Stevensons. He gets a screen. Now gives it back up to Skylar Hart, and Hart will back it up. He's guarded by Bryson Ellis. Ellis keeping close tabs, but now Skylar Hart is able to get around him and make a nice move and get the bucket. Skylar Hart with a nice move. He's got both of the Cadets' baskets here to start the contest, and they lead 4-2.
Looks like Plainfield defense wasn't a man-to-man, but they're going to drop Nathan Mills down low in that defense, and he kind of just anchors that position down there in the lane. And, of course, Nathan, a good shot blocker, leads the team in blocks.
Quakers get it into the front court. That's Bryson Ellis with the basketball. Skips over to Nathan Mills. Mills down the low post. Turn around, right hand. That's no good. Ball's loose, and Brock Stevenson will come away with it for the Cadets. They lead by 2 with 6:10 left to go, opening quarter. Picking up basketball was Evan Birch. He finally finds Skylar Hart. Hart goes right side. This is Stevenson. Back up top to Birch. Birch leaves it off to the left side. Now gets it back. 3, top of the key on its way. Birch, that's long, but he gets the kind top off of the back of the rim, and it falls. And Evan Birch's 3 will give the Cadets a 5-point lead at 7-2.
Good start here for Cascade. They lead 7-2, as Brian said. Going to continue a little press, and that's probably a good idea for Cascade defense against the guard tandem here of Plainfield.
That's Nathan Mills. He got Stevenson backing up. Stevenson fell down, and just in front of the right elbow, Nathan Mills gets his first 2 points of the night, and the Cadets will get it into the front court with a 7-4 lead and 5:20 left to go in the first quarter.
With that height advantage Plainfield enjoys tonight over Cascade, they're definitely going to want to attack on offense down low with Nathan and Max. Hopefully Connor Brenz can chip in too.
Here comes the 2-3 zone trap, and a ball stolen by Ellis, but he throws it away but gets it back as the Cadets can't hold on to it. Mark Daum gets the ball from the receiving end of Bryson Ellis, and as Daum goes up, he's going to be fouled hard on the way down as he got the Cadets in the air, and the foul's going to be committed by Cascade.
Mark Daum, the junior, he sure did get fouled hard there, Brian. I mean, he got hammered, but jumped right up. He's ready to shoot a free throw here.
He got Brock Stevenson up in the air, and Stevenson had no place to go but down on Daum, and Stevenson's hit with his first foul. Meanwhile, Mark Daum, 2 free throws, and he hits the first.
Daum coming into this game a 50% free throw shooter, just 3 out of 6 on the season.
Second free throw for Mark. It's on its way. He hit the front of the rim, and the ball is rebounded by Skylar Hart. 7-5 Cadets with the basketball in a 2-point lead. 4:54 left to go first quarter. Stevenson, left side, gives it to Birch. Birch down low as the Quakers go into a 2-3 zone.
With a trap.
And they're trying to trap, and they've got Birch now, but he finds Stevenson between the circles. Stevenson, bounce pass back to Birch. They go left side with the basketball. This is Zach Butler. They kick it out. Stevenson at the wing. Shot fake. Skylar Hart now with it. He'll send it back up. Here's Stevenson for 3, top of the key. That one's no good. Ball's loose, and Daum will come away with a rebound for the Quakers. 7-5, Quakers can tie it here with a basket. Here's Bryson Ellis, drives baseline, and he tries to leave it up, and we'll have a blocking foul called against Cascade as Ellis makes a baseline move and tried to wrap it around, wrap it up off of the glass, but he's fouled on his way to the hoop, and it'll be the second team foul against the Cadets.
Austin Gates for Cascade did a good job moving his feet on defense there, cut off the baseline from Ellis, although he did commit the foul.
Gates with his first foul. Leaving will be Austin Gates, and entering the lineup will be Dalton DuBois. And for Plainfield, Reese Crawford is now in for Mark Daum. 7-5, Cascade with the lead as we approach the halfway point in the first quarter. Cascade's dropped down into a 2-3 zone. 3 ball, Max Kurkowski, that's strong, and in getting the rebound for the Cadets is Evan Birch. Skylar Hart with the basketball. They sing it left side. He will try to set it up and send it left side. Stevenson with the basketball. They leave it baseline. They try to go underneath with the shot, and putting it up and in is Zach Butler. He gets the bucket, and he will draw the foul.
Zach Butler, surrounded by 3 Plainfield defenders there, was still able to get that rebound, go up and over 3 defenders, get that bucket, and he will go to the line for a foul shot.
Foul called on Bryson Ellis. That's his first. And they will convert the 3-point play as Butler gets the 3-point play, and it is a 10-5 Cascade advantage. Here is Nathan Mills just in front of the free throw line. Mills with the bucket.
Nathan can get that shot all night long with his superior height to this Cascade team. Just get him the ball down low, and he can jump over everybody, create his own shot that way. Should be effective tonight.
10-7. Cascade with the advantage. They'll move the ball around. Thinking about it was Evan Birch. He'll give it to Hart. Hart's 3, no good from the wing. Getting the rebound is Stevenson, blocked by Nathan Mills. Nathan sends it back, and ball is off of a Cadet, so it will be Plainfield basketball trailing 10-7 with 2:58 left to go in this first quarter.
Nathan, 51 blocks now on the season. He's averaging just about 3 blocks a game.
With the basketball as the Quakers trail by 3 with 2:40 left to go in this first quarter. Reese Crawford sends it to Connor Brenz. Brenz sends it back out. Crawford, 3-ball from the wing is on its way, and Crawford's 3 ties this game with 2:30 left to go in the first quarter.
Good to see there from Reese from three-point land. Get that bucket and get him started. A good start there for Reese from long range.
10-all, 2:20 left to go in this first quarter of play. As with the basketball is Dalton DuBois. He gives it over to Evan Birch. Birch sends it left side to Brock Stevenson. Back to Birch as he works off of Reese Crawford. And Quakers stay in about a 2-3 zone where they're getting a lot of help. They'll send it out from the wing. Here's getting the 3 is Dalton DuBois over Max Kurkowski, and that'll give the Cadets a 13-10 lead.
Well, we can see from Cascade's offense here early here in this first quarter, they want to shoot the 3. Of course, they're at a disadvantage height-wise, so if they can be hitting their 3s from long range and avoid having to go inside against Plainfield's superior size, that could be a successful formula for them, or it would at least allow them to stay in the game here.
Brock Stevenson checks out. A.J. Parsons is in, and here's a traveling violation against the Quakers' Max Kurkowski that gives the ball back to the Cadets with 1:46 left to go in this first quarter, and Cascade up 13-10. Alongside Christopher Worley, I'm Brian Scott. A fast-moving first quarter of play here at the Red Pride Gymnasium. And the Cadets took a lead early in this first quarter, and they have maintained it. It was tied at 10. They get the ball out. Sending it out was Butler. He gives it out, sends it out, and now throws it away. Bryson Ellis is able to save it, and it's going to be tapped out of bounds as Skylar Hart knocked it out of bounds. And the Red Pride will retain possession of the basketball with 1:23 left, down by 3. Crawford will bring it into the front court right side as Cascade now goes back to a man-to-man defense. Reese just inside the three-point arc, and Reese Crawford looks like he's got a stroke tonight. 5 points, and it brings the Quakers within 1 at 13-12 as we approach 1 minute left to go first quarter.
Yeah, Reese feeling a little bit here tonight. Took that shot over some defensive pressure. Beautiful shot right through the bottom of the net for Reese.
Skylar Hart sends it left side. That's Evan Birch. Sends it down low to DuBois, who kicks it back out. They find Hart at the right wing. Now, ball fake. He launches a 3. It's no good, but the long rebound comes out. And a nice scoop by A.J. Parsons. Got the long rebound, took it in, scooped it in, and the Cadets lead by 3 with 32 seconds remaining in this first quarter. We'll see the Quakers play for the final shot.
That time Parsons not afraid to challenge that front line. He scooped that ball up and over the long arms of Plainfield and converted for Cascade.
Quakers will hold for the final shot. We are down to 17 seconds left to go in this first quarter as Reese Crawford pounds the ball between the circles. Now sets the offense, goes right side. That's Bryson Ellis with 10 seconds left. Ellis in the lane, spins, lays it off with the right hand. Shot no good. Brenz with a rebound. He sends it out to Kurkowski. 1 second. Kurkowski drives and a foul before the buzzer. So Kurkowski with the drive, and he is going to go to the free throw line for 2 free throws with zeros on the clock.
Like the aggression there by Max. He could have stopped and popped either a 3 or from the free throw line. He wanted to take it all the way in there, get a bucket at the buzzer here. So instead he got fouled, and he'll shoot free throws.
Kurkowski hits the first free throw.
Max, a 73% foul shooter coming into this game.
And he hits the second, and that is how the first quarter is going to end, with Kurkowski hitting both free throws. And after 1, the Quakers trail the Cadets 15-13. Back with second quarter action after this. This is Red Pride Basketball on ASL. We'd like to thank Raymond's Alignment Service in Plainfield for being a proud sponsor of Plainfield Quaker Basketball. Raymond's Alignment Service is Plainfield's complete auto and truck repair center since 1995. You can visit them at 3828 Clarks Creek Road in Plainfield or give them a call at 317-838-7112. That's Raymond's Alignment Service in Plainfield. Does Wings Etc. have great wings? Sure, but wait, there's more. So much more than award-winning jumbo wings. Stop past our new location in Plainfield at 1818 East Main Street, just west of Kroger, and you'll get a great big taste of what the Etc. and Wings Etc. is all about. You can call 406-3250 to place your to-go order today. That's Wings Etc. at 1818 East Main Street in Plainfield. Max Kurkowski's 2 free throws to close out the first quarter have made it a 15-14 game as we begin quarter number 2 for the Quakers. Out on the court to begin the second quarter, Kyler Nichols, Reese Crawford. They are joined by Nathan Mills, Max Kurkowski, and Keegan Motter. Those are the 5 on the court for head coach Andy Weaver. The Cadets have the ball in a 1-point lead. Evan Birch throws the ball away as Kyler Nichols stepped in, and he gives it to Kurkowski.
3 turnovers now for Cascade.
Kurkowski with a bullet pass to Keegan Motter, but it's tipped out of bounds by the Cadets. For Cascade, Evan Birch, Dalton DuBois is on, as is A.J. Parsons, Skylar Hart, and also Elijah Hostetler in. Here's a long-range 3. That's off, no good. Mills chases down the rebound as Crawford's 3 is no good. Turnaround from near the left elbow is off the glass and no good. Rebounded by Dalton DuBois, and here come the Cadets up by 1.
I imagine Coach DuBois of Cascade was happy with their offensive output in the first quarter. They had 15 points. They only averaged 45 points a game.
Skylar Hart, he's played so far every minute for the Cadets. He feeds it to DuBois, and he backs out, sends it out to the top to A.J. Parsons. Parsons goes left side. They get it down into the low post, back out. Here's Hart, left wing, back down low as they play a little inside-outside. They'll send it back out. 3 ball is launched. No good by Evan Birch. Ball is loose, still loose, and now we have a whistle on the floor as fighting for the rebound down low, I believe, was Elijah Hostetler. And the foul's going to go against Plainfield's Nathan Mills.
Connor Brenz will check back in as Nathan Mills takes a seat here early in the second quarter.
Mills first, Quakers second. The Cadets with 3 team fouls of their own. 6:48 left to go in the half. Here's Skylar Hart's 3, no good. Kurkowski brings down the rebound for the Quakers. Quakers can retake the lead with a bucket here. As Kurkowski from the right elbow, shot is up. That's short off the front iron. Rebound and controlled by Cascade. Remains 15-14, just as it did after the end of the first period. 6:28 left to go in the first half. Parsons feeds it right side, left the pass low, and then they'll send it back out as Birch works against Crawford. Birch sends it to Parsons. They swing it around left side. Calling for it down low with Skylar Hart down on the low post. He's guarded by Kyler Nichols. Now they switch off. Left side, good defense here by the Quakers on this possession. They're not allowing any easy shots, and a man's on the ball as soon as it's touched. Here's a long-range 3. That's high off the rim, no good. Bringing it down is Crawford for the Quakers. One and done for the Cadets. Quakers look to take the lead, and they will do so on Max Kurkowski's 3 from the corner.
Well, Max found, I wouldn't say he was open. He had to shoot that over a defender, but nice 3 from that far corner for Max, and he's off to another good start. Max really upping his offensive output here the last 2 weeks of this season.
Chris DuBois calls a full timeout with 5:47 left to go in the first half. The Quakers retake the lead 17-15. This is Red Pride basketball on ASO. Prestwick Pet Sitters and owner Don Crawford is a proud sponsor of the Plainfield Quakers basketball team. Prestwick Pet Sitters has been in business for over 20 years, servicing Plainfield, Avon, and Danville, specializing in home pet care for all types of pets, from Angora rabbits to zebrafish and all the cats and dogs in between. Visit PrestwickPetSitters.com or call 745-9900 to learn more or schedule an appointment before your next trip. That's PrestwickPetSitters.com. Max Kurkowski's 3 from the corner gives the Quakers back the lead at 17-15. Alongside Christopher Worley, I'm Brian Scott. Cadets held a lead through most of the second half of the first quarter and through the first few minutes here in the second period. But the Quakers now have retaken the lead, and they will set up their half-court defense. It is still Crawford, Nichols, Motter. Actually, Connor Brenz is now back into the game. And he joins Motter and Nichols. Cadets with the basketball trailing by a bucket. They get it down to the right side. A.J. Parsons feeds down low, but it's stolen away. Here's Nathan Mills with the basketball. Feeds it right side. Kyler Nichols. Nichols, nice ball fake, lays it up, but leaves it short off the rim. And Parsons has the rebound for the Cadets. Cadets, right side, Skylar Hart drives, lays it up. It's too strong. Ball's tapped out of bounds, and they'll say it was tapped out by Keegan Motter.
Well, I like the aggression to the hoop there by Kyler Nichols on the last one. We don't often see that from him. That last possession by Plainfield. But, boy, he charged in there. Just wasn't able to get the shot to go. But good aggression. Could have drawn the foul if he didn't score. But we're back at the other end now. And here's Cascade inbounds underneath their own bucket.
Brock Stevenson back in for the Cadets. Bryson Ellis comes in for Max Kurkowski. Nice baseline drive, but it leaves it short off the rim by Skylar Hart. And here come the Cadets. The Quakers off the Cadet miss, and Mills got it into the front court. Here's Bryson Ellis. He'll leave it for Connor Brands out top. Kyler Nichols, ball fake, right elbow, gives it off to Keegan Motter. Motter mishandled it briefly, but tracks it back, and we have a whistle away from the ball, and this one's going to go against Cascade.
Yeah, he was battling down there with Nathan Mills. He being number 21 for Cascade, Jaden Hopper, a sophomore, and he kind of bodied up there on Nathan and drew the foul.
Actually, they got Skylar Hart.
Okay.
That's his first, team fourth against the Cadets. So Hart and Mills have been going at it, and Hart's called for the foul away from the ball. Cadets trail by 2 as the Quakers have the basketball, looking to extend their lead. Bryson Ellis, nice ball fake, tried to leave it down in the low to Brenz, but it's picked off by Zach Butler, and then a whistle on a foul called against the Quakers.
Well, you never want to foul that far from your own basket. That was clear at the other end, a foul on Plainfield.
Bryson Ellis will pick up foul number 2, 13 foul against the Quakers, and Ellis will leave, and Reese Crawford will return. Crawford had 5 points in that first quarter. He had a 3 and a 2, almost back-to-back possessions. And he re-enters the lineup as Ellis has to sit now with 2 fouls. 17-15, Quakers with a lead, and now another quick whistle and a foul as Motter and Crawford talk things over, and I think...
Yep. You know, Brian, we've seen that all year in high school basketball. A referee, that was a point of emphasis coming into the season, no hand checking out on the perimeter, and that's clearly what that foul was against Plainfield.
For the Cadets, they're still looking for their first points of this quarter, and we're about halfway through. For the Quakers, they only have a Max Kurkowski 3 to show for points here in the quarter themselves. They get the ball down low with the basketball is Elijah Hostetler, and he's going to be called for steps, and the turnover gives the ball back to the Quakers as the Cadets have now been held scoreless for 4 minutes and 6 seconds in this second quarter.
That's their 5th turnover of this first half.
Cascade will drop back now into the 2-2-1 press as Kurkowski gives it right side to Motter, back to Max. Max, left side. This is Crawford. They have Brenz in the low post. He's had skip pass out to Keegan at the wing. Back to Reese. 3:35 left to go first half. Quakers lead 17-15, and now Keegan will check with Coach Weaver, and they'll set up the offense. Nathan Mills, right wing, beyond the arc to Keegan between the circles. Lob it in. Nathan Mills, alley-oop, done to perfection.
Great play, and Mills, I think he signaled for that ball, and he got it right by the hoop and slammed it through. An alley-oop slam for Plainfield.
Cadets were expecting Plainfield to just kind of move that ball around the perimeter. Nathan Mills snuck baseline, and a nice lob from Keegan Motter. Here's a long-range 3 that's up and good. That one's good by A.J. Parsons as they come back off of the alley-oop, hit a 3, and it's still just a 1-point Quaker lead with 2:52 left to go in the half.
I think that's something Cascade features in their offense. They like that 3, and they like it from the top of the key. Seems like they always have a player at the top of the key. If he's open, he'll take that 3.
Crawford drives the lane, leaves it up. No good. There's Kurkowski for the putback basket. Max now with 9 points, and it's 21-18 Plainfield.
Plainfield up on top in the rebound battle so far, 7-6.
2:27 left to go first half. The Quakers now have a 3-point lead. Here's a turnover as Connor Brenz comes away with a loose ball. Nathan Mills with it. Pull-up jumper on its way. Count the basket. And he's going to the line.
Nathan Mills showed a little enthusiasm after that, too. Nice stop and pop and drew the foul. He'll be at the line. Nathan Mills right now coming into this game is a 65% free throw shooter. He'd like to get that number up here as we get close to the end of the season.
Brock Stevenson was hit with his second personal foul, and Nathan Mills was at the line for the and one. 23-18 after the Mills basket. He can make it a 6-point lead with a free throw, but that's strong. Brenz tried to get the rebound. The ball's loose, and they'll say it went off of Brenz, but now they're going to change the call and give the ball back to Plainfield, as they'll say it did go off a Cascade. So Kurkowski will trigger the inbound from the sideline right in front of the Cadets bench. Quakers with a 5-point lead, 2:15 left to go in the first half.
Who needs replay, Brian? Just the officials talk together about it, and they can work it out.
They can work it out. Here's Kurkowski for three. That one's no good, but Mills gets the rebound and keeps the possession. Brenz left side to Motter, back top. Crawford drives the lane, left side. Whistle will stop the play as they'll call the foul against Cascade as Reese Crawford drove left side of the lane, didn't get the bucket, but he's going to earn 2 free throws.
Well, that call could have gone either way. Cascade Ben's disappointed that it wasn't a charge, but Reese is a 90% free throw shooter as he steps to the line here.
16 foul called against Cascade as Reese hits the first free throw. He now has 6 points. And he'll have one more. It's a 6-point Quaker lead currently with 1:59 left to go in the half. Reese's second free throw is good. He has 7. And that is the Quaker advantage with 1:56 left to go first half. Double team comes in the corner, and now a whistle and a timeout is going to be called by Cascade's head coach Chris DuBois. And it is a 30-second timeout. So he's now used 2 of his allotted 5. He still has a 30 and 2 full timeouts remaining. And Cadets, who at one point had a 3-point lead in this quarter, now find themselves trailing by 7. And Chris, this was something we saw with Plainfield last Friday against Greenwood. Greenwood had opened up a 5-point lead almost midway through that second quarter before the Quakers really started coming on. This time it's good defense, limiting Cascade to no points through the first half of this quarter. And Cadets now find themselves trailing by 7.
Yeah, Brian, I think this defense has worked well for Plainfield. In the second quarter here, they've gone to more of a zone trap, and it's causing problems here for the Cascade Cadets, and that's one of the reasons they had to stop and call timeout there. Coach DuBois did not want to turnover in that situation.
Hart triggers the inbounds and throws it into the backcourt where Evan Birch brings it down. Now he gives it to Hart. Hart right side, down in the corner. This is Dalton DuBois. And he loses the basketball. Mills gives it to Crawford. Couldn't quite track it down. Hart comes away with it. Now a whistle. And a foul is going to be called against Plainfield's Connor Brenz.
Well, that was close to just being a jump ball situation, but they are going to call the foul. If we go to a jump ball, possession pointing Plainfield way here as we have just 1:37 now left in the first half.
Connor's first personal 15 foul against the Quakers. Next team foul against the Cadets sends the Quakers to the line. Here's a nice feed down low. Double team was Elijah Hostetler, but he's going to earn a trip to the free throw line as he's going to be fouled.
Elijah, the senior, 6'1 senior, good movement without the ball. You know, if you're a front court player and you're in doubt, cut to the hoop. And they found him there, and he goes to the line shooting 2 shots, made the first one.
Max Kurkowski is called for his first personal. It is the 16th foul against the Quakers. So both teams now with 6 team fouls. So next team foul will be shooting free throws with 1:27. That one gets the front of the rim, gets the roll, and Elijah Hostetler has his first points. And that makes it 25-20 in favor of the Quakers with 1:22 left to go. Reese Crawford all alone for 3, but it rims out. And pulling down the rebound is DuBois for the Cadets. He will give it to Evan Birch. Birch brings it into the front court, sends it back right side to DuBois. 1:05 left to go first half. Quakers up by 5. Cadets with the basketball. Elijah Hostetler leaves it for DuBois. DuBois left side. Gets the basketball back. Now he'll send it back over to the left side. Zach Butler sends it off, and the Cadets move it around the perimeter. Birch thought about the 3, then pulled it back down. And Cadets just spending a lot of time passing it around the perimeter, but nobody really looking to take a shot. They get the ball down the low post, and now a foul called about Connor Brenz as they got it down, and the entry pass to Elijah Hostetler, and Connor tried to swipe it away, and he's going to be called for the foul, but it is the 17th foul. That means the 1-on-1 is in effect.
I have Cascade just shooting 3 free throws in this first half. They've hit them all, though. Mr. Hostetler will be at the line again where he hit 2 his last time out. I think it's a good idea for Cascade to be patient here. You know, they're definitely the underdog in this game. Right now they're close at 25-20. Run some clock, be patient, and on that possession they drew a foul against Plainfield.
Hostetler misses the front end of the 1-and-1, but the Cadets get the rebound, and dribbling it off his foot, however, was Zach Butler, and the ball will go back to the Quakers.
Here's news for Plainfield fans. They are winning the turnover battle. Cascade with 8, Plainfield just 3 here in the first half.
30 seconds remain in this first half. Quakers still have a 5-point lead. And they will dribble the basketball. Kyler Nichols all the way back in the corner with 16 seconds. Now he makes a move, leaves it to Crawford. Crawford back up top to Keegan Motter. Motter right side. He finds Kurkowski, pops the 3. That's no good. Mills tries to tap it out, but he's going to be called over the back.
No doubt about that. Nathan thought he had a clear stretch over the back of the Cascade defender, but they are going to call the over the back foul. We'll go to the other end here.
So it's the 8th team foul for Nathan. That will be foul number 2. And with 7 seconds left to go in the half, Elijah Hostetler is back at the line. He misses the front end again. Kyler Nichols with the basketball, rushes, and a whistle, and he is fouled, and the 1-and-1 is in effect. With 3.7 seconds, Kyler was simply going to try to send the ball to the corner to Keegan Motter, but he's going to be fouled from behind by Elijah Hostetler.
Yeah, mistake there by Cadets. You don't want to do that. If anything, here at the end of the half, make Plainfield shoot it. They're going to send them to the line, though, for 2 free throws here.
Well, 1-and-1 is in effect. It is the 17 foul. Nichols' free throw is good, so he gets the front end. He'll get the bonus.
Kyler Nichols, a 70% foul shooter coming in this game, 7 out of 10.
Anthony Bolin will quickly come in. He'll replace Reese Crawford, who sits down with 7 points. Nichols, one more free throw. It's on the way. It is good. As Skylar Hart has the basketball, sends it right side to Birch. He'll throw it up. He kind of double clutched it as the ball went through his hands. He's looking for a foul, doesn't get it, and that's how the first half is going to come to a close. The Cadets go to the locker room thinking that they had a foul. Instead, they will find themselves down by 7 as the Quakers for the big second quarter, and they lead Cascade 27-20. Back with some halftime stats, and Chris will tell you what's going on in girls sectional action when we come back. Quakers lead the Cadets. We'll be back in a moment. This is Red Pride Basketball on ASL. Prestwick Pet Sitters and owner Dawn Crawford is a proud sponsor of the Plainfield Quakers basketball team. Prestwick Pet Sitters has been in business for over 20 years, servicing Plainfield, Avon, and Danville, specializing in home pet care for all types of pets, from Angora rabbits to zebrafish and all the cats and dogs in between. Visit PrestwickPetSitters.com or call 745-9900 to learn more or schedule an appointment before your next trip. That's PrestwickPetSitters.com. We all have a guy, but who's your guy? Jeremiah P. Whip State Farm Agency in Plainfield next to Popeye's Chicken is a proud supporter of Plainfield basketball. Jeremiah specializes in life insurance and retirement maximization. Call 839-3322 or go to who'syourguy.net to contact Jeremiah today. That's Jeremiah P. Whip State Farm Agency in Plainfield. Whether you're looking to buy a new home or need to refinance an existing mortgage, J.P. Brenz and Caliper Home Loans can help you with all your mortgage financing needs, including conventional, FHA, VA, and USDA loans. Contact J.P. today at 550-2116. That's J.P. Brenz and Caliper Home Loans. We'd like to thank Raymond's Alignment Service in Plainfield for being a proud sponsor of Plainfield Quaker basketball. Raymond's Alignment Service is Plainfield's complete auto and truck repair center since 1995. You can visit them at 3828 Clarks Creek Road in Plainfield or give them a call at 317-838-7112. That's Raymond's Alignment Service in Plainfield.
Does Wings Etc. have great wings? Sure, but wait, there's more. So much more than award-winning jumbo wings. Stop past our new location in Plainfield at 1818 East Main Street, just west of Kroger, and you'll get a great big taste of what the Etc. and Wings Etc. is all about. You can call 406-3250 to place your to-go order today. That's Wings Etc. at 1818 East Main Street in Plainfield.
Back at the Red Pride Gymnasium alongside Christopher Worley, I'm Brian Scott. Halftime, the Plainfield Quakers lead the Cascade Cadets 27-20. And Chris, it's a big week here at Plainfield. Not just the basketball game tonight, but there's been a lot of basketball played here at the Red Pride Gymnasium this week.
Sure has. This week of the year, the girls get the spotlight here coming up into a weekend of their state tournaments. And sectional action here, we had first round game on Tuesday night. And in that game, Brownsburg faced Terre Haute South Vigo, and Brownsburg came out on top 47-45, a close, scrappy game. Brownsburg didn't play all that well, but was able to pull out that win over Terre Haute South. And then last night here, a big night for the girls here from Plainfield. The Quakers did defeat Terre Haute North 69-57 in the first game. Second game, no problem for that powerful Mooresville girls team as they beat Avon easily 68-17. So that sets up a big night here tomorrow night. First game, 6 p.m. here at the Red Pride Gymnasium. We'll have Martinsville against Brownsburg. Should be a good game. Both those teams played earlier in the season, with Brownsburg getting the win. And then a tough assignment for the Plainfield girls. They're going to play that good Mooresville team. And that is the second game here tomorrow night. Sectional semifinals, Martinsville versus Brownsburg first game. Plainfield versus Mooresville here this Friday night. The championship game scheduled for 7:30 p.m. on Saturday night, girls high school sectionals.
Of course, the Lady Quakers took on the Pioneers earlier this season. It was a game that was really close at the halftime, but the Pioneers kind of pulled away and ended up winning by double digits in that second half. So the Lady Quakers, they're going to face an opponent they're very familiar with, and they're going to, of course, look for a lot of help here at the Red Pride Gymnasium. I'm sure they'll have a great crowd, as they always do here at Plainfield High School. Of course, Chris, there's a lot of other action going on here at Plainfield.
Right. Just this week in wrestling, Plainfield High School put 3 wrestlers into the semi-state. Good job. Isaac Gomez, Tristan Southwood, and Bryce Biddle will all advance to semi-state in the wrestling tournament. Of course, Red Pride Wrestling, a lot of pride there for this school. They have a good wrestling program. 3 guys now to semi-state coming up this weekend, I believe.
So a lot of things going on here at Plainfield High School. Girls are in sectional action. We'll find out next weekend where the Quakers of Coach Adam Weaver will play, or who they will play. We know they'll play at Martinsville, and we'll have that opening game for you right here on Audio Sports Online. It should be a big sectional, very, very talented sectional, and the Quakers, they will have their work cut out for them. One of their sectional opponents, well, they could be coming here to the Red Pride Gymnasium next Tuesday. That's the Brownsburg Bulldogs. The Quakers are already looking for a little bit of redemption, as earlier this season they played the Bulldogs in the sectional, or in the opener, I should say, of the Hendricks County tournament, and it was a tough night for the Quakers there in Avon as they fell to Brownsburg 65-39. Plainfield would bounce back, however. They played Avon in the consolation game and beat the host Orioles in that contest 49-36. So they're going to see a lot of familiar faces down there in Martinsville. They could be seeing the Bulldogs. They could see Avon. They could see a whole lot of people. But right now they're going to be focused on keeping this 7-point lead and extending it here in the second half. So, Chris, let's take a look at our halftime statistics for tonight's contest. As the Cadets, they actually led after the first quarter by the score of 15-14, but then Plainfield really shut them down in the first half of the second quarter. It wasn't until about with 3 minutes and 30 seconds left to go on the clock in the second quarter that A.J. Parsons hit a 3, but the Quakers limited the Cadets to only 5 second quarter points while putting up 13 of their own, and that's how the Quakers have this 7-point halftime lead at 27-20. Our halftime stats for the Cascade Cadets, leading with 5 points off the bench, is A.J. Parsons. 4 points for Skylar Hart, 3 points each from Zach Butler, Evan Birch, and Dalton DuBois. 2 points for Elijah Hostetler. Brock Stevenson and Austin Gates played. They have not scored. The Cadets were 3 of 4 from the free throw line there in that first half, and they hit 3 3-point baskets. Only people in foul trouble are Brock Stevenson and Austin Gates. They have 2 fouls each. For the Plainfield Quakers, the usual leading suspects are at the top of the scoring column. Max Kurkowski has 9 points, including a 3-point basket. Nathan Mills with 8 points. Reese Crawford has 7 points. He had 5 points in the first quarter and a pair of free throws in the second quarter to give him his 7 points. Tyler Nichols has 2 points. Mark Daum has 1 point. Keegan Motter, Anthony Bolin, Bryson Ellis, and Connor Brenz have played. They have not scored. Right now, Quakers doing a very good job from the free throw line. They are 7-9 from the free throw line. They have hit 2 3-point baskets in this first half, and they have the 27-20 lead at the end of the first half of play. So, Chris, some good defense played there by Plainfield, and as we have preached all year long, when they can keep the turnovers down, they can do some damage offensively.
Yeah, and did a good job in that first half. I only counted them with 3 turnovers compared to Cascade's 8. Now, that's a very unscientific total, but did a good job really taking care of the ball. And as you mentioned, Brian, I was impressed with that trap zone defense there against Cascade that really held them down to only 5 points. Now you need to keep up the intensity. You know, this is a game you could easily think, hey, we got it made, Cascade 2A program, but of course, Plainfield, you cannot assume anything this year with just 5 wins. So they need to keep the intensity up here in the second half, get a good start here in this third quarter.
Quakers, as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, after tonight, 4 games remain in the regular season. The Bulldogs come here next Tuesday. They will play Franklin on the 20th, at Franklin on the 20th, at Lebanon on the 24th, and wrap up the regular season February 26th when they welcome Greenfield Central to the Red Pride Gymnasium. We will have the Greenfield Central game with video on Audio Sports Online. Once again, our game with Brownsburg, originally it was on the schedule. That has been changed. It is audio only, and you can only listen to that through xrbradio.com. It is a Brownsburg broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, but you can still listen to the Red Pride that night. It will be Chris and I with the call of that game as the Bulldogs and the Quakers tip it off for the second time this season. Will they make it a third time in sectional play? We'll find that out maybe in about a week and a half. But that game we'll have for you again on xrbradio.com. There will be an audio stream link at XRB, and you can listen to all the action between the Quakers and the Bulldogs. And then we'll be back here with video on February 26th with the Quakers and Greenfield Central. Teams are back out on the court. We'll take a timeout. Come back with second half action. This is Red Pride Basketball on ASO.
Prestwick Pet Sitters and owner Don Crawford is a proud sponsor of the Plainfield Quakers basketball team. Prestwick Pet Sitters has been in business for over 20 years, servicing Plainfield, Avon, and Danville, specializing in home pet care for all types of pets, from Angora rabbits to zebrafish and all the cats and dogs in between. Visit PrestwickPetSitters.com or call 745-9900 to learn more or schedule an appointment before your next trip. That's PrestwickPetSitters.com. We all have a guy, but who's your guy? Jeremiah P. Whip State Farm Agency in Plainfield next to Popeye's Chicken is a proud supporter of Plainfield basketball. Jeremiah specializes in life insurance and retirement maximization. Call 839-3322 or go to who'syourguy.net to contact Jeremiah today. That's Jeremiah P. Whip State Farm Agency in Plainfield.
Welcome back to the Red Pride Gymnasium as we get ready for third quarter action. The Plainfield Quakers lead the Cascade Cadets by the score of 27-20, alongside with my broadcast partner Christopher Worley. I'm Brian Scott. Quakers scored 14 in the first quarter, 13 in the second, and they held the Cadets to only 5 second quarter points, and that's how Plainfield has now built a 7-point lead as we get ready for the third quarter.
I'm sorry, Brian. Score from up north. Brownsburg will be here next. They are playing on a Thursday night also against Shortridge, and Brownsburg has a good lead here after first half. They lead 29-17, Brownsburg over Shortridge.
And Shortridge, that might be a little telling. Shortridge played Zionsville earlier this year. They beat the Eagles, and there might be no hotter team right now in central Indiana than the Zionsville Eagles, where they feature the son of former Indiana Pacer All-Star Rick Smits, Derek Smits, and the Eagles have played very well. They beat the Bulldogs a few weeks ago. Quakers have the basketball to begin the second half, and we'll have a whistle as Nathan Mills will be thrown down by Zach Butler. On the court for the Quakers, it is Connor Brands, Nathan Mills, Bryson Ellis, Mark Daum, and Max Kurkowski. That's the starting five for Coach Andy Weaver, and for the Cadets, they have the same starting five: Brock Stevenson, Skylar Hart, Zach Butler, Austin Gates, and Evan Birch.
And I think right here, Plainfield trying to get that ball into Nathan Mills, but here's a three-pointer from the corner.
Ellis's three-pointer is no good, but Connor Brands with a rebound. He feeds Mills right in front of the free throw line, and Nathan Mills is in double figures with 10 points. And the Quakers extend the lead to 9 with the first basket here in the second half.
Yeah, we've seen that often from Quakers. They will try to work that first possession for a field goal in by Nathan in close.
Here's a three by Brock Stevenson. Skylar Hart, he fed a baseline cutting Zach Butler. Butler hits Stevenson out the wing, and Stevenson's three is good, and another whistle and a foul. This one's going to go against the Quakers.
Up against Cascade here. Foul against Cascade.
Or excuse me, it'll go against Brock Stevenson. That's his third, and he's going to have to quickly leave as A.J. Parsons comes in. Stevenson, that three was his first points of the game, but he has to leave now with 3 fouls. Parsons comes in. He had 5 points in the first half. Quakers up by 6, 6:55 left to go in the third quarter. Bryson Ellis with the basketball feeds Connor Brands. Brands finds Mills. Mills spins in the lane. Right-hand jumper, no good. Kurkowski with a rebound. He puts it up, and Kurkowski gets the bucket. He has 11.
Great aggressive rebound by Max with those long arms. Went up and got it and able to convert the putback.
As we now have a delay of game, I believe is going to be a delay of game warning is going to be called against Plainfield. Cadets with the basketball. They now trail by 8, 31-23 as they set up the offense. With dribbling the basketball is Evan Birch. He'll back it up. He's trying to get A.J. Parson, who's being hounded by Connor Brands, and Brands taps it out of bounds, but the Cadets will retain possession with Parsons triggering the inbound from the near sideline. He'll throw it into the backcourt, and it'll be brought up front by Zach Butler. They'll swing it left side to Birch, who gives it to Parsons. Parsons up top. They move it around. Hart with the basketball. This is Butler with the basketball. A free throw line. He'll have to send it back outside to Evan Birch. Approach the 6-minute mark in the third quarter, and here's a nice steal by Daum. He throws it in. He finds Brands. Brands finds Kurkowski. Kurkowski drives the lane, and he's going to earn a couple of free throws as he's going to be fouled hard by, I believe, Skylar Hart. And for Hart, that'll be foul number 2.
He sure is going to earn them. But back on the other end, a great play by Mark Daum. Able to make that steal, and he had to go after he made the steal. The ball was headed out of bounds. Went and retrieved it, got the ball in for a Plainfield fast break.
Kurkowski hits the free throw. He is now 3 of 3 from the line, and he now has 12 points. He can make it a double-digit advantage with a free throw, which he does, and the Quakers have a 10-point lead at 33-23. Max went off against Greenwood in that third quarter last year. Here's a steal by Daum, back-to-back steals. He'll take it. He'll protect the basketball but miss the layup. But Brands running down the lane gets the loose ball. Bryson Ellis can't get it. Nathan Mills can't get it in. And Connor Brands finally puts it in. Good determination there and stick-to-itiveness by the Quakers. And Chris DeBoyer is going to call a timeout as he watched a whole host of white shirts underneath the basket getting putback after putback before Connor Brands finally gets his first 2 points of the game. And
good work by the boys down low. I counted 5 touches, 5 rebounds or putbacks, if you will, just on that one possession there for the Plainfield score. Good work, good hard work by the boys. And again, Mr. Daum, another steal, got that breakaway, just couldn't convert, but everybody there to follow up for the Quakers.
Mark Daum did a good job of keeping his body between the defender and the basketball. He just left the layup a little short. But after several point-blank misses, Connor Brands on his second chance to put the ball back up and in. He converted. And he has his first points of the night. It was a full timeout instead of a 30-second timeout, but for Coach DeBoy, he only has 2 remaining, a full and a 30. So with 5:34 left to go in this third quarter, the Quakers have their biggest lead at 12 at 35-23, as only a Brock Stevenson 3 is on the scoreboard right now for the visiting Cadets. Lineups look like they will stay the same out of the timeout, as Birch gives it to Hart, who gets it into the front court and gives it right back to Evan Birch. Birch, guarded by Bryson Ellis, leaves it right side. Actually, Dalton DuBois is now back into the contest for the Cadets. Parsons sends it over the left side, and as he sends it to Evan Birch, a whistle and a foul, as Bryson Ellis is likely going to be tagged for his third personal.
Yeah, good effort there by Bryson again, trying to spark a defensive charge. Bryson really works hard on the defensive end. He is going to leave now as Reese Crawford will check in.
So Ellis leaves with 3 fouls and no points. And Reese Crawford checks back in. He had 7 points in that first half. Bounce pass at the free throw line. They'll send it left side. Skylar Hart had to look at for that sideline, make sure he didn't have a foot. He drives the lane, kicks it to the corner, over to DuBois. DuBois back to Hart, and poked away by Daum. Ball's loose on the court. Still fighting for it. Connor Brenz was fighting with Zach Butler, and the whistle is going to go against Cascade.
Daum, another steal. Really came to play good perimeter defense. Mark Daum here tonight.
Zach Butler will be hit with his second foul. It is the 4th team foul against the Cadets, and we still have 4 minutes and 48 seconds left to go in this third quarter of play with the Quakers up by 12.
You know, for any coach, of course, you want your team to improve as the season goes on. And I think that's one improvement we've seen here from the Red Pride is much better defense. They've mixed up their defensives. They're working hard on the defensive end is an improvement we've seen as this season's gone on.
Kurkowski's 3, that's off the front iron, and coming down with a rebound is Evan Birch. Birch into the front court. Nobody stops the ball, and he now travels. Stuttered stepped. He was kind of waiting for Zach Butler to make a baseline cut. Butler was a little slow on the move, and it ended up with the shuffling of the feet and the turnover, giving the ball back to the Quakers. 4:17 left to go in this third quarter. Quakers up 35-23. Alongside Christopher Worley, I'm Brian Scott. Kurkowski lobs it into Mills, but nice anticipation by Butler. He pokes it away, and coming away with it is Zach Butler. He goes right side and throws the ball away. He was looking for Dalton DuBois over there beyond the arc in the corner. Might have led him just a little bit, and the ball goes off of DuBois' hands out of bounds, and the turnover gives the ball back to the Red Pride.
5 turnovers now for Cascade against just 1 for Plainfield here in the second half, and that was on Plainfield's last trip down the court. See what they can do, run on offense this time.
Just past the halfway point here in quarter number 3. Here's Reese Crawford. His pop, that's off the front iron, but there's Mark Daum with a look what I've got. Tried to put it into Nathan Mills. It was poked away. Here's Connor Brenz. Gets a defender in the air, gives it to Kurkowski. Kurkowski is going to shovel the feet. He was trying to make a little bit of a ball fake and just forgot to put the ball on the court before moving his feet, and he's called for traveling.
You know, Mark Daum doesn't score much, of course. We think of him as a defender, but the way he's played tonight, I'd sure like to see him hit a couple buckets.
Daum, no points, he has 1 point. He had a free throw back in the first quarter, but a couple of defensive steals have led to some baskets. And here's a steal, this time by Reese Crawford. The Quakers have numbers and almost threw it away. Nathan Mills throws it back in. Daum has it back. Daum leads it to Kurkowski. 3 on the way. That's short. Rebound by Skylar Hart of the Cadets. Hart pushes it up, goes left side of the lane, or right side of the lane, leaves it off to the left side, and Zach Butler finishes the basket in transition. And it's back to a 10-point advantage for the Quakers, 35-25, under 3 left to go in the third quarter.
Good work there. Nice pass by Hart to a hustling. Who got that? Oh, Zach did, with some good running, hustle down the court. Got the lay-in for Cascade, and we've got a foul now here, Brian.
Looks like a foul away from the basketball. It'll be against Cascade, and it'll be foul number 15 foul against Cascade. It's going to be called against Dalton DuBois, That's his second. Team foul number 5. As Kyler Nichols is in, he finds Connor Brents at the free throw line. Shot no good. Skylar Hart with a rebound. Hart pulls it up, drives in the lane, and goes through. Nathan Mills might have gotten a fingertip on it. Mills leaves it left side to Dom to Nichols. Nichols thought about the three, instead gives it to Reese. Reese back to Mark. 2:27 left to go third quarter. Quakers lead 35-25, and another cadet foul. This will be team foul number 6. So that means the Quakers are going to be shooting free throws for the remainder of this game. And Zach Butler has just picked up foul number 3.
They put a body on Nathan there. As a team now, since they'll be shooting the rest of the way, Quakers at 71% for the season, so that would give them an advantage here as we continue this game. And 2:26 left, third quarter. Quakers lead 35-25 over Cascade.
Zach Butler leaves. Elijah Hotsettler now back in as the Quakers have the basketball up by 10 with 2:20 left to go in the quarter. Crawford left side gives to Kyler Nichols as the Cadets now go into a 2-3 zone off of the inbound. Dahm between the circles goes right side. Crawford's three on the way. It's good.
Reese has been firing them up here tonight. Hadn't hit for a little while, but there he got that three.
Second three of the night for Crawford. He now is in double figures with 10 points. And the Quakers lead by 13 with 1:55 left to go in the third quarter. Here's a steal by Crawford. Reese takes it, lays it up off the glass, and gets the bucket. Reese Crawford having himself a nice night here. He now has 12 points. And the Quaker lead is extended to 15, and a whistle and a timeout called by head coach Chris DuBois, and he is only going to have one timeout remaining. This is a 30-second. So with 1:41 left to go in the quarter, Coach DuBois uses his fourth timeout. He only has a full timeout remaining. And Cadets now finding themselves in a little bit of hurt. The next team foul will put the Quakers on the line. Plainfield has only committed one team foul in this half, and they lead by 15 with 1:41 left to go in the quarter.
Nice scoring by Reese Crawford. He came into this game, his scoring average just a little bit under 6, but now I think you had him with 12, Brian?
He has doubled his average, and we still have a little ways to go here in the third quarter.
He's been firing them up, too, taking quite a few shots. He felt hot. You could tell that in the first quarter that he was ready to score tonight, and he's done so.
Keegan Motter comes in for Connor Bren, so it's Kurkowski and Mills in the front court. Motter, Crawford, and Nichols in the back court as Skylar Hart gets the ball into DuBois, and he'll get the ball back in the front court. Dalton DuBois with the basketball. They send the ball up top. This is Elijah Hostetler. He goes right side, and there's Hart. Now we'll have a whistle, and it's going to be a foul against Dalton DuBois away from the basketball.
He has no idea what he did.
That's his third personal. It's an offensive foul. It will be the 17th foul. But as an offensive foul, there will be no free throw shot.
You mentioned it, Brian. Quite a foul discrepancy here in the second half. That is Cascade's 7th against Plainfield with just one personal foul.
So DuBois will now leave. He joins Zach Butler with 3 fouls each for the Cadets. And again, the Quakers with only one team foul here in the quarter. Here's Nathan Mills. That shot partially blocked possibly by Zach Butler. Getting the basketball was Crawford. He has his shot rejected. Coming back the other way is Elijah Hostetler. He loses it. Parsons chases it down. They'll send the ball right side. And now the double team comes in the corner trying to drive baseline. And now we will have a whistle as Skylar Hart worked baseline. And the good old Bronx cheer from the Cascade faithful that have made their way from the Mill Creek Community School Corporation as they finally see a Quaker foul. Only second one in the half, or with 57.9 seconds remaining. Nathan's going to take a seat as he picks up foul number 3.
And their coach DuBois hadn't been too happy with this officiating crew either, along with the crowd.
Here's Hart, his 3. That's no good. But the putback on a nice little putback as Zach Butler had weak side positioning. And as they tell you, most rebounds will come off to the opposite side of the basket. And Butler found himself in great position for the putback. But it's still a 13-point Quaker lead with 38 seconds left to go in the half.
Be patient, boys, here. Get a good shot.
Motter finds Kyler Nichols back to Keegan. 30 seconds remain. We'll see if the Quakers just play for the final shot as Keegan backs it up, and it's exactly what that looks like Coach Weaver is going to do, is the Quakers with a 13-point lead will play for the final shot in the third quarter. Keegan almost lost it for a minute, but finds Reese Crawford with 11 seconds remaining in the quarter. Reese gets a Bit of a screen, turnaround jumper in the lane. That's short, but right there is Kurkowski. His putback's no good. And I think we're going to have an over the back on Connor Brenz this time. That's Bren's third. He's going to join Ellis and Nathan Mills with 3 fouls each. It's the third team foul against the Quakers. 2.5 seconds remain as Brock Stevenson is going to come back in for Coach DuBois. Stevenson, no points and 3 personals. Coach DuBois is going to get Skylar Hart a little bit of a breather here with the quarter. And now we have a whistle and away from the ball. And we're going to have a foul called on the inbound. Reese Crawford's going to be called for the foul. It looks like a holding foul. No time ran off the clock. It's a 14th foul. 1 second remaining. Half-court heave is on its way. It's going to be well short by Evan Birch, and that's the way the third quarter is going to end. Quakers led by 7 at the end of the first half. They lead by 13 as we head to the fourth quarter. Quakers 40, Cadets 27. Back with the fourth quarter after this is Red Pride Basketball on ASO.
We'd like to thank Raymond's Alignment Service in Plainfield for being a proud sponsor of Plainfield Quaker Basketball. Raymond's Alignment Service is Plainfield's complete auto and truck repair center since 1995. You can visit them at 3828 Clarks Creek Road in Plainfield or give them a call at 317-838-7112. That's Raymond's Alignment Service in Plainfield. Does Wings Etc. have great wings? Sure, but wait, there's more. So much more than award-winning jumbo wings. Stop past our new location in Plainfield at 1818 East Main Street, just west of Kroger, and you'll get a great big taste of what the Etc. and Wings Etc. is all about. You can call 406-3250 to place your to-go order today. That's Wings Etc. at 1818 East Main Street in Plainfield.
Welcome back to the Red Pride Gymnasium. Alongside Christopher Worley, I'm Brian Scott. Fourth quarter about ready to get underway, and the Plainfield Quakers lead the Cascade Cadets by the score of 40-27. Not a big scoring quarter for either team in that third, but the Quakers outscored Cascade 13-7. Reese Crawford with 12 points. Max Kurkowski with 13. Nathan Mills has 10, and this ball goes out of bounds, and it will be the Cadets basketball. Cascade currently led with 7 points by Zach Butler. And Cascades have the basketball, and now we'll have a whistle and a foul as Brock Stevenson is going to be fouled as he was moving with the basketball. Keegan Motter called for the foul, and Plainfield with a rash of fouls the last minute and a half of the third quarter, and they get the first foul of the fourth. And now we have a whistle, and I believe Brock Stevenson might be bleeding, and that's why they've stopped play as they check Brock out.
Yeah, something on his hand here. They're going to look at it. A little bit confusing there as to when and how that referee was going to stop this game to get him checked. But we'll have an inbounds on the far side for Cascade.
I believe Elijah Hostetler will come in for Stevenson, and they'll throw the ball to Birch, and then we'll have another whistle and another foul. This time a called against Plainfield once again.
I think it's on Bryson Ellis, and he looks around like, what did I do?
Well, for Bryson, that's foul number 4, and it's the 16th foul. So now both teams will be shooting the bonus the rest of the way on the next Plainfield team foul. The Cadets are already over the limit. They have 17 fouls.
For Plainfield, Dom will come in replacing Bryson Ellis, who will head to the bench.
With the basketball, Skylar Hart. He's averaged, and there's a poke away by Kurkowski as Hart tried to get the basketball into the hands of Elijah Hostetler. Kurkowski pokes it away, and it'll still be Cascade ball as it will be Evan Birch triggering the inbound from the baseline in the corner.
Boy, bounce pass there that Max could have never touched it. Cascade needed to use a good old fundamental bounce pass to get that ball in the interior that time.
Skylar Hart feeds the basketball to Zach Butler. He finds driving the baseline A.J. Parsons, and as Parsons went up, Nathan Mills gets block number 2, maybe 3, as he sends it out of bounds, and the Cadets will have the basketball with Birch triggering the inbounds from the baseline.
Well, there we saw a good bounce pass to the cutter, but Nathan took care of that.
And there's Crawford almost getting the steal. Skylar Hart gets the basketball now on the wing. Skip pass over to the far side to Birch. Birch working on Keegan Motter. A minute into this fourth quarter, and the Quakers have a 40-27 lead. That's how we ended quarter number 3. Cadets with the basketball. Pull-up jumper is good, as getting the bucket is Zach Butler. Butler now with 9 points, and it's an 11-point Quaker lead at 40-29 with 6:44 left to go in the fourth quarter.
Good shot there by Zach Butler. If I'm not mistaken, he played football for them too.
A little floater there by Crawford's no good. Cadets get the rebound, and they'll bring it into the front court in a hurry. Birch sends it out. Gives it to Skylar Hart. Hart gets a screen. And now we'll back up as he has to work against Kurkowski. They feed down low. Butler feeds it to the right side. Shot no good. Getting his own rebound. And not being able to come away with any points was Elijah Hostetler, as Mills finally gets the rebound. Hostetler had a shot, had the putback, couldn't get either. And here's a nice find as Keegan Motter found Nathan Mills right under the basket, and the Cadets are forced to foul to prevent Nathan with the easy basket. A.J. Parsons going to be hit with his first personal, but it is the 8th team foul against Cascade. Nathan's at the line where he is 0 for 1 tonight.
When we talk about football and basketball high school players, good to see Brandon Peters return for the Avon Orioles just back this week after a hand injury. Kept him out most of the season. That really hurt Avon this year, but Brandon Peters, one of the best quarterbacks in Hendricks County, also their top scorer, returned this week for Avon.
Second free throw by Mills is good, and he now has 12 points. The Quakers did not see Peters when they beat Avon earlier. Here's a 3-ball by Parsons. It's no good. Motter comes down with a rebound. As Keegan gets it into the front court, sends it left side to Crawford. Here's Kurkowski, and he shuffled the feet once again.
4 turnovers this half now for Plainfield. They are still under 10 turnovers for the game, so pretty good numbers there. Right now, Plainfield pretty easily winning the rebound battle, as would be expected against the shorter Cascade Cadets here. But they will inbounds. Cascade will have the ball. Just 5:44 left in this fourth quarter, Brian.
Brock Stevenson and Dalton DuBois back in for Coach Chris DuBois as the Cadets find themselves trailing by 13. Butler gives the ball up. Here's a 3, top of the key. That's up, and that is good by Skylar Hart, who has been quiet. He got 4 points in the first quarter. That's his first point since. Nice crossover by Motter, finds Kurkowski. 3 on the way, goes halfway down, comes back out.
Way down in and out for Max.
Bringing it up is Evan Birch. He's picked up by Crawford, now terminates his dribble and is in a little bit of trouble, but he finds Dalton DuBois to come back for the basketball, and Skylar Hart will pick it up from there. 5 minutes left to go in regulation. Quakers lead 42-32. Here's a nice bounce pass, but not looking for an outlet to Keegan Motter, who has to chase it down, and now the Quakers will reset the offense.
Of course, listening in once again, Foxy Roxy up in Wisconsin, Max's aunt. I'm sure she wanted him to hit that 3, but Max sure has picked up his offense here in the last few weeks.
Motter, he finds Nathan Mills in the lane. Mills shot in and out, comes back into the hands of the Quakers. They'll get it up front. They don't have numbers, but Hart will push it. Instead, leaves it off for Stevenson. Stevenson sends it to the side or to the baseline to Butler. Butler's shot no good. Quakers have the rebound. Motter pulls it out with 4:18 left to go in regulation, and the Quakers up by 10. Kurkowski lobs to Mills, and as Mills goes for the basketball, he's going to be fouled on a hold by Cascade, and that's going to send Nathan to the line for the 1-and-1.
Of course, the world of basketball lost 2 great Hall of Fame coaches this past week, Brian. Of course, Dean Smith, the legend at North Carolina. Also the legend from out west, a Hall of Famer UNLV coach, Jerry Tarkanian. Bad week for losing 2 great coaches of this basketball game.
Nathan Mills hits the front end of the 1-and-1. He has hit 3 of 3 free throws, all of them 3 of 3 in this quarter. Make it 4 of 4. He is 5 of 4 from the line overall, as he now has 14 points, and the Quaker lead is 12 as we approach 4:07 left to go in regulation. Hart with the basketball, guarded by Daum, drives, leaves it right side. A little short jumper is no good, however, by Zach Butler, and the Quakers pull down the rebound. Kurkowski might have gotten a little bit of an elbow in the face, but he comes down into the front court, and now Nathan Mills is going to be called for traveling. Mills was trying to make a little hop step, but he's going to be called for steps, and the Cadets will have the basketball down by 12 with 3:52 left in regulation.
Okay, you need to play smart here. Now cut out those turnovers. Yes, it's a 12-point lead, but the way Cascades hit some of their three-pointers tonight, game not certain yet, so you still want to take care of that ball and perform a good offense down on each possession.
They send it out. Birch's three has gone the way. It's no good. Daum with a rebound for Plainfield. He'll give it to Keegan Motter. Motter quickly into the front court, and a timeout's going to be called by Coach Andy Weaver of Plainfield. And it will be, it will be a full timeout, so we will take a timeout as well. 3:28 left to go in regulation. Plainfield leads Cascade 44-32. Back in a moment. This is Red Pride Basketball on ASO.
Prestwick Pet Sitters and owner Don Crawford is a proud sponsor of the Plainfield Quakers basketball team. Prestwick Pet Sitters has been in business for over 20 years, servicing Plainfield, Avon, and Danville, specializing in home pet care for all types of pets, from Angora rabbits to zebrafish and all the cats and dogs in between. Visit PrestwickPetSitters.com or call 745-9900 to learn more or schedule an appointment before your next trip. That's PrestwickPetSitters.com.
Coach Andy Weaver uses the first of his timeouts. Coach Chris DuBois of Cascade, he's only got one timeout left, but right now the Cadets trail by 12, 44-32 with 3:28 left to go in regulation.
Yeah, Brian, I think Coach Weaver, like I kind of talked about there, I think he was a little concerned here. You're getting some turnovers, being careless with the ball. Yes, you've got a good lead, but you still want to play smart, play well, cut down on the turnovers. Do not let Cascade get back into this game.
Out of the timeout will be Kurkowski, Nichols, Connor Brenz back out on the court, Reese Crawford and Nathan Mills. Brenz is out on the court with 3 personal fouls. Or excuse me, Bryson Ellis, I should say. Bryson Ellis has actually 4 personal fouls. Quakers with 16 fouls. The next Cascade foul would be the double bonus. And Bryson Ellis gets his first 2 points of the game with a jumper at the free throw line. And the lead's 14 for the Quakers, 46-32.
Like that, Bryson Ellis found himself wide open, and he went ahead and shot it like this from Hart, deep.
Skylar Hart just hit a NBA-range three-pointer there as he had a long-range bomb to make it an 11-point Plainfield lead. Bryson Ellis again, baseline drive, gets the bucket, and one.
Bryson Ellis here in the fourth quarter after that timeout. I don't know if they called those plays for him, but he came out and aggressive and now scored 2 straight buckets for the Quakers.
Well, Bryson's seen a lot of pine time in this game due to foul difficulty, and with 4 fouls, he came out here to get some points on the board, and he converts the 3-point play. He has 5 points, and the lead is now 49-35 for Plainfield, and Ellis will now depart.
Don't know if I'm correct on this, Brian, but I have Plainfield making 10 straight free throws here over the course of this last few minutes here into the first half.
Actually, they have made their last 11. Here's a shot, no good. Mills with a rebound for the Quakers. 49-35, 2:34 left to go in the fourth. Crawford with the basketball. Reese has had a very, very nice game, 12 points. Daum feeds down low. Kurkowski is held.
He grabbed a hold of his shirt and his jersey, and the referee going to talk to Mr. Hart a little bit there.
Skylar Hart, that's going to make an offensive lineman's hold look paltry by comparison. Hart is going to be hit with his 3rd personal, and Kurkowski at the free throw line, and he misses the first.
And we just talked about him making several free throws in a row there, but Skylar Hart, he's a senior. He's a competitor. He's their team leader. Just wasn't going to let Max go up and have an easy shot there. Tried to hold it.
He hits the second. 14 points for Max Kurkowski as A.J. Parsons is back in for Coach DuBois. He'll take over for Brock Stevenson, who has a 3 to his resume tonight, but hasn't really been able to do much more for the Cadets. Hart with the basketball.
Leaves it left side to Birch. Gets the basketball back. Looks for a screen. Gets one from Du Bois. Then the triple team comes. Loses it. Du Bois gets a little right-hand floater in the lane. Is no good. Kurkowski with a rebound for Plainfield. 2 minutes left to go in the basketball game, and the Quakers are up now by 15 points. Points here would give them their largest lead of the night, as Crawford has the basketball. Reese again, I believe, with a season high. Here's Kurkowski, crossover in the lane. Little soft runner is up and good. And Max Kurkowski now with 16 points, and Quakers lead 52-35 with 1:31 left.
That last timeout there when they were struggling a bit, the timeout by Coach Weaver really helped. They've been very effective at both ends since that timeout.
Cadets with the basketball, and they just simply have had problems putting points up most of the tonight, and now a little reach-in foul by Mark Dawn, but it'll be the 7th team foul against the Quakers, and that's going to put Skylar Hart at the line for 1-1.
Coach Weaver, a little grimace there when that foul occurred. Of course, you don't want to foul, stop the clock, let them score points, but we feel Plainfield should be safe here with just 1:17 to go in the fourth quarter.
Anthony Bolin back in as Skylar Hart's at the line for the first of the 1-1. He gets it, he'll get the bonus. Hart had 4 points in the first half, all of them in the first quarter. He has hit 2 threes here in the fourth quarter. So he has now 11 points with that free throw.
Cascade will have just 2 games left after tonight. They will be home to Western Boone on the 20th and then at Edgewood on February 24th.
Dom departs as Keegan Motter returns, and Hart sinks the back end of the 1-1. He has 8 points in this fourth quarter.
Plainfield JV boys a big win here tonight over Cascade, 59-16.
Coach Adam Groniger has done a fantastic job with that JV team, and that team was leading big early in that contest, and they just put the pedal to the metal all the way. Keegan Motter, a little delay, sends it out. Bolin for 3. That drops. Anthony Bolin gets the Plainfield reserves off the bench, as now that ball goes out of bounds. A turnover as A.J. Parsons threw the ball out of bounds, and Bolin's 3 from the corner makes it an 18-point Quaker lead, 55-37. As the Cadets will show some full court pressure as Kurkowski looks to inbounds. He'll try to send it to Mills, but it's poked out of bounds by Dalton Du Bois.
Nice to see Anthony Bolin, a senior, number 11 for Plainfield, come off the bench, get a bucket there. That is actually his second three-pointer of the season.
Kurkowski once again to trigger the inbounds. He finds Kyler Nichols. Nichols into the front court now. Picks up his dribble, probably not in the right spot, and they're going to call a held ball, but the possession error will favor Plainfield. Kyler kind of stopped, and he stopped right between a pair of Cadets. And a reach in there by Dalton Du Bois tied him up, but the possession arrow favored Plainfield. 35 seconds remain. Quakers up by 18. Motter picks it up, gives it to Nichols. Nichols out to Kurkowski at the corner, skipped over to Keegan Motter, and Motter will back it out. Keegan gets around Skylar Hart and leaves it to Kurkowski. As the Quakers just playing keep away right now for the final 15 seconds, and now we'll have a whistle and a foul with 15.3 seconds remaining, and Dalton Du Bois will be hit with his 4th personal. A double bonus is in effect, so Max Kurkowski is at the line to shoot 2.
Get out here tomorrow night, folks. Girls sectional tomorrow night. First game, Martinsville versus Brownsburg. Second game, your Plainfield Quakers versus Mooresville.
Kurkowski misses the first. He's 5 of 7 now from the line as Nathan Mills will depart. Nathan tonight with 14 points. He was 4-4 from the free throw line here as Kurkowski splits the free throws, and now he'll leave as he's going to depart with
good game by
17 points.
Yeah.
Final 13 seconds as Skylar Hart makes a move down the right side of the lane, leaves it for Butler, and Butler gets the bucket. Final 4 seconds, that's going to do it as the Quakers are going to win this basketball game by the score of 56-39. We'll come back. We'll have our final stats for tonight's game, and the Quakers come away with a victory. This is Red Pride Basketball on Audio Sports Online. Prestwick Pet Sitters and owner Dawn Crawford is a proud sponsor of the Plainfield Quakers basketball team. Prestwick Pet Sitters has been in business for over 20 years, servicing Plainfield, Avon, and Danville. Specializing in home pet care for all types of pets, from Angora rabbits to zebrafish and all the cats and dogs in between. Visit PrestwickPetSitters.com or call 745-9900 to learn more or schedule an appointment before your next trip. That's PrestwickPetSitters.com. We all have a guy, but who's your guy? Jeremiah P. Whip State Farm Agency in Plainfield next to Popeye's Chicken is a proud supporter of Plainfield basketball. Jeremiah specializes in life insurance and retirement maximization. Call 839-3322 or go to who'syourguy.net to contact Jeremiah today. That's Jeremiah P. Whip State Farm Agency in Plainfield. Whether you're looking to buy a new home or need to refinance an existing mortgage, J.P. Brenz and Caliper Home Loans can help you with all your mortgage financing needs, including conventional, FHA, VA, and USDA loans. Contact J.P. today at 550-2116. That's J.P. Brenz and Caliper Home Loans. We'd like to thank Raymond's Alignment Service in Plainfield for being a proud sponsor of Plainfield Quaker basketball. Raymond's Alignment Service is Plainfield's complete auto and truck repair center since 1995. You can visit them at 3828 Clarks Creek Road in Plainfield or give them a call at 317-838-7112. That's Raymond's Alignment Service in Plainfield. Does Wings Etc. have great wings? Sure, but wait, there's more. So much more than award-winning jumbo wings. Stop past our new location in Plainfield at 1818 East Main Street, just west of Kroger, and you'll get a great big taste of what the Etc. and Wings Etc. is all about. You can call 406-3250 to place your to-go order today. That's Wings Etc. at 1818 East Main Street in Plainfield.
Back at the Red Pride Gymnasium, alongside Christopher Worley, I'm Brian Scott. The Quakers defeat the Cascade Cadets by the score of 56-39. Cascade actually led after the first quarter by the score of 15-14, but Plainfield held Cascade scoreless for the first 4 minutes plus of the second quarter to open up a 7-point halftime lead and then really never look back as they put the pedal to the metal there in the third quarter, limiting the Cascade to 7 third-quarter points. And the Quakers hit their free throws in this contest as they win this game by the score of 56-39. So, Chris, a fantastic game. Let's give you quickly the stats for tonight's game. Leading the Cascade Cadets with 12 points was Skylar Hart, and he had 8 of those there in that fourth quarter of play. Zach Butler had 11 points for Coach Chris DuBois' Cascade Cadets. A.J. Parsons off the bench had 5 points, 3 points each from Brock Stevenson, Evan Birch, and Dalton DuBois. And getting on the court but not scoring, he started the game, was Austin Gates, but he did not put any points on the board. Cascade was only 5 of 6 from the free throw line. They only went to the line 2 times there in that second half. They did hit 6 3-point baskets in tonight's contest. So 18 of their 39 points came from beyond the arc. For the Plainfield Quakers, leading all scorers with 17 points was Max Kurkowski, 14 points from Nathan Mills. Double-digit scoring tonight from Reese Crawford. He had a really nice game. He finished with 12 points, 5 points for Bryson Ellis, all of that in that fourth quarter of play. 3 points from Anthony Bowling. He got a 3 there in the fourth quarter. 2 points from Kyler Nichols and Connor Brenz. 1 point from Mark Daum. And Keegan Motter played. They did not score. The Quakers, 16 of 20 from the free throw line. They hit their free throws tonight. They did hit 4 3-point baskets. Chris, it was a good game. Some nice scoring. Max Kurkowski and Nathan Mills. We expect to see some points from them, but a really nice game from Reese Crawford.
Yes, sir, and I'm going to name Reese Crawford our first star of the game. And he also played some good defense, had a few steals there. Nice to see him score. He more than doubled his average. So Reese Crawford, number 1 star, and we'll have Max as our number 2 star, and Nathan Mills as our third star. Another star in that game was Coach Weaver's had the boys pick up the defense there. We saw it in the second quarter as they only allowed Cascade 5 points there and then kept it up in the second half. So a good trapping defense. This was a game Plainfield needed to get the job done and get a win, and they did on this Thursday night.
Mark Dahm also did. He didn't get any points tonight, only 1 point, but he played some very good defense, got some steals that led to some baskets in transition, so a good job by Mark Dahm on the defensive end. The Cascade Cadets led after the first quarter by the score of 15-14. The Quakers outscored Cascade 13-5 in the second quarter to take a 27-20 halftime lead. Plainfield outscored Cascade 13-7 in the third quarter. They led 40-27, and they outscored Cascade 16-12 in the final quarter, and they win this ball game by the score of 56-39. The loss drops Cascade to 7-13 on the season. The victory for the Quakers improves their record to 6-12. Our next broadcast of Plainfield Quaker basketball on Audio Sports Online will be February 26th, when Plainfield will close out the regular season. They will host Greenfield Central here. You can watch that game on audiosportsonline.com. Pregame show about 7:20 with Chris and I. Tip-off set for 7:30. The game Tuesday night against the Brownsburg Bulldogs that was originally on our schedule, it will be broadcast, but you will have to listen to it on xrbradio.com. Chris and I will have all the action. It is a Brownsburg broadcast, but you'll be able to listen to that game. Just visit the web at xrbradio.com.
Yeah, we did get a report from our reporter Mark Teakin down there up north of Brownsburg, and they did win over Shortridge 55-37.
So the Quakers will hope for a little bit of redemption. They fell to the Bulldogs in the tip-off of the Hendricks County tournament back at the beginning of January, 65-39. Quakers playing a little bit better basketball. We'll see if that has any difference in the outcome of the game. That game again Tuesday night, pregame on xrbradio.com will be at around 7:15, and the tip-off between the Bulldogs and the Quakers on xrbradio.com at 7:30. Once again, the Plainfield Quakers, they get the W. They defeat the Cascade Cadets by the score of 56-39. For my broadcast partner, Christopher Worley, I'm Brian Scott. Thanks for tuning in tonight, and we look forward to seeing you next time for Red Pride Basketball on Audio Sports Online. Until then, so long, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to Plainfield Quakers basketball on audiosportsonline.com. Tonight's game has been brought to you by Wings Etc., Prestwick Pet Sitters, State Farm Agent Jeremiah P. Wisp, Raymond's Alignment Service, and J.P. Brenz and Caliber Home Loans. Don't forget, you can catch a free on-demand replay of tonight's game by visiting www.audiosportsonline.com. Red Pride Basketball is an audiosportsonline.com production.